You meet someone new. At first, everything seems great. They're interesting, charming, but there's a but. You instantly see the cracks. You see the 5 ways they could improve their career, the one bad habit that's holding them back, the disorganized way they manage their life, and you feel it, an itch, an urge, a genuine, overwhelming compulsion to step in. You think they have so much potential if they just did X, Y, and Z. You think, I can help them, I can fix them. This isn't just simple kindness. This isn't just offering a helping hand to a friend. This is a pattern. This is the fixer identity, often called the savior complex. It's the deeply ingrained belief that your role in any relationship with a partner, a friend, even a family member, is to be the rescuer, the problem solver, the one who guides them from their chaos into your organized vision of their life. It feels noble, doesn't it? It feels like love. We've been told that love is about support and sacrifice. But here is the devastating truth we are here to explore today. This compulsion to fix others is not only toxic to them, it is systematically destroying your relationships, and it is quietly damaging you in the process. Today, we are diving deep into the hidden psychology of the fixer. We will not just look at the behavior, we will unearth the roots. Where does this really come from? We'll explore the childhood blueprints that wrote this code into your DNA, the deep-seated need for control that masquerades as care, and the shocking ways this pattern is preventing you from ever having a truly intimate, healthy connection. And most importantly, we will discuss the path forward, how to break the cycle, how to set boundaries that actually work, and how to build connections that are based on acceptance, not as a project to be completed. Let's begin. To understand why you can't stop trying to change the people you love, we have to look backwards. This is not a personality trait you were born with. It is a survival strategy you learned. And it usually begins in childhood. The first and most powerful root is called parentification. This is a psychological term for a child who is forced to take on the role of an adult. Maybe you had a parent who was emotionally unstable, suffering from depression or addiction. You learned at 5, 6, or 7 years old how to be their caretaker. You learned to read their moods, to say the right thing to prevent an outburst, to manage the household because they couldn't. Maybe you had to care for younger siblings, becoming their primary parent. In these situations, a child learns a core, dangerous lesson. My value is my usefulness. My ability to fix this family's problems is the only way I earn my right to be here. You were praised not for being a kid, but for being so mature for your age, for being the strong one. So, you carry this blueprint, this role, into adulthood. You don't know how to exist in a relationship without being the useful one, the strong one, the one who manages the chaos. Because in your child mind, to stop being useful is to risk being abandoned. The second root is conditional love. Perhaps your childhood wasn't chaotic, but it was performance-based. You were only given praise and affection when you achieved. When you got the A, won the competition, or fixed a problem, affection was a reward for a successful outcome. You learned that love isn't free. It must be earned through competence. So when you see a partner who is struggling, your brain doesn't just see a person in pain. It sees a problem you can solve, an opportunity to prove your worth, a chance to earn the love and validation you are craving. Your help is not a gift. It is a transaction for your own self-worth. The third route is simply modeling behavior. Did you watch one parent constantly try to fix the other? Maybe your mother was always trying to fix your father's career, or your father was always trying to fix your mother's social anxiety. You grew up watching a relationship where love was synonymous with intervention. You subconsciously learned that this is just what people do. You love someone, so you criticize their choices, you manage their lives, you push them to be better, all under the banner of love. You are simply playing out the only script you've ever known. But these childhood roots create a psychological machine that needs fuel in the present. And the fuel is the need for control. Let's be honest. The world is a chaotic, unpredictable, and often frightening place. And for someone who grew up in a chaotic environment, uncertainty is terrifying. It triggers a deep, primal anxiety. So, when you see your partner's messy life, their disorganized apartment, their poor financial habits, their unfulfilling job, it triggers your internal chaos. Their disorganization feels like a threat to your stability. And so, the fixing begins. It is often an unconscious, desperate attempt to manage your own anxiety by controlling your external environment. By organizing their life, by creating a budget for them, by editing their resume, by telling them what to eat, you gain a false, fleeting sense of stability and control over your own unpredictable world. It's not about them, it's about you and your inability to sit with discomfort. Finally, we have the powerful, addictive drug that keeps the whole cycle going. The reward of validation. When you successfully help someone, when they take your advice and it works, you get a rush. We can call it the fixer's high. You feel needed, you feel capable, you feel virtuous. Your identity as the person who has it all together is confirmed. The core belief of the fixer is, if I am not needed, I will be abandoned. So you are drawn, like a moth to a flame, to broken people. You are drawn to potential because a healthy, independent person who has their life together, they don't need you in that way. And to the fixer, that kind of person is unconsciously terrifying because if they don't need you, why would they stay? This leads to the most subtle and dangerous trap of all, using fixing as a form of avoidance. It is infinitely easier to focus on someone else's messy, chaotic life than to confront your own. It's easier to obsess over your partner's career than to ask why you are still in a job you hate. It's easier to analyze your friend's bad dating habits than to confront your own loneliness and fear of intimacy. Fixing others becomes the ultimate form of procrastination from your own personal growth. It's a noble-looking, virtuous-feeling distraction from doing the hard, terrifying work of fixing yourself. We are about to move from the causes to the consequences, the real damage this complex does to your life. If this content is resonating with you, if you are finding value in these insights and want to continue exploring the deep psychology of relationships and self-improvement, take a second to subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue to make deep dive content just like this. Now, let's talk about the collateral damage. This complex, this machine, feels like it's coming from a good place. It feels like love. But the outcome, the collateral damage, is devastating. And the destruction happens on 3 fronts. First, let's talk about the damage to the fixed person. When you constantly try to fix someone, you are sending them one consistent, soul-crushing message. You, as you are not good enough. It is the ultimate act of disrespect. You are not treating them like an equal partner. You are treating them like a student, a child, or a broken appliance you need to tinker with. You are implicitly telling them, your way of thinking, feeling, and living is wrong. My way is right. This doesn't build them up. It disempowers them. You rob them of their own agency. You steal their right to make their own mistakes and crucially, to learn from them. Every time you jump in to solve their problem, you are telling them, "I don't trust you to handle your own life." Over time, this creates two possible outcomes, both of them toxic. Either they become completely dependent on you, a passive, insecure shell of a person who cannot function without your direction, or they build a deep, powerful resentment. Nobody wants to be someone's project. That person you're fixing will eventually get tired of being criticized, managed, and molded, and they will pull away, rebel, or leave. And you will be left standing there, confused, thinking, "But all I did was try to help." Second, and this is the part we rarely admit, is the damage to the fixer to you. This role is exhausting. It is an incredible, unsustainable burden to carry the emotional, financial, and logistical weight of two people. You are not just managing your own life, you are managing their life too. This leads to inevitable, crushing burnout. But even worse than the burnout is the resentment. Because here's the secret: the person you're fixing will never change enough, and they will never be as grateful as you think you deserve. You sacrifice your time, your energy, your peace, and when they don't take your advice, or they take it and it fails, or they do change but they aren't thankful enough, you become a martyr. You become bitter. You think, "After all I've done for them." This creates a toxic, passive-aggressive dynamic where you are silently keeping score and they are silently suffocating under the weight of your expectations. You become a victim of the very dynamic you created. Finally, this pattern causes the complete destruction of the relationship itself. A relationship built on a fixer and fixed dynamic is not a partnership. This pattern is codependency. Let's be very clear about the difference. Interdependence, which is healthy, is when two whole, complete people choose to be together, supporting each other while maintaining their own autonomy. Codependence is when one person, the fixer, gets their entire sense of self from being needed, and the other person, the fixed, gets their entire sense of self from being taken care of. It's not a bond, it's a dysfunctional contract. This dynamic prevents genuine intimacy. How can it not? You can never be truly vulnerable with someone you're treating as a project. You can never truly respect someone you see as inherently broken, and they can never be authentic with you. They are constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to show you their flaws because they know a flaw is not a data point. It's an item on your to fix list. The relationship isn't built on love, it is built on a dysfunctional, unspoken need. And when the fixed person either A, finally gets fixed and doesn't need you anymore, or B, refuses to be fixed at all, the entire foundation of the relationship crumbles. Because it was never love. It was a job. If you're listening to this and you feel a pit in your stomach, a sense of uncomfortable recognition, that is a good thing. It's the first, most critical step. You cannot change a pattern you are not aware of. So, what does the path forward look like? How do we break this decades-long cycle? Step 1. Radical self-awareness. You must become a detective of your own mind. From this day forward, your new job is to observe your impulses. When your partner or friend comes to you with a problem, pause. What is the first feeling in your body? Is it empathy or is it anxiety? What is your first impulse? Is it to listen? Or is it to immediately offer a 5-point action plan? You must learn to spot the trigger. Do you feel the urge to fix when you feel anxious, bored, insecure, unproductive? Just notice it. Don't act. Just observe. Then you must ask yourself the one hard question. Am I helping or am I controlling? Am I being asked for advice or am I forcing it on them? Am I offering support or am I trying to manage their outcome? This awareness is the space between the impulse and the action. That space is your new home. Step 2. Grieve your blueprint. This is the emotional core of the work. You must go back and meet the inner child who learned this pattern. The little girl who had to be the adult for her mother. The little boy who was only praised when he got an A. You must understand, with deep compassion, that this fixer part of you is not your enemy. It was a brilliant survival strategy. It kept you safe. It helped you get your needs met in an environment where love was not freely given. You have to thank that part of you for its hard work. And then, as the adult you are today, you must lovingly and retire it. You have to grieve the fact that you didn't get the unconditional love you deserved, the childhood you deserved. It is not your fault that you learned this, but it is your responsibility to unlearn it. Step 3. Redefine your role. This is the difference between fixing and supporting. This is the practical, in-the-moment change. Fixing, which is unhealthy, sounds like, you know what you should do? You should. Here, just let me do it. Why are you still? Giving unsolicited advice. Intervening without permission. Feeling responsible for their feelings and their outcomes. Supporting, which is healthy, sounds like, wow, that sounds really hard. I'm sorry you're going through that. This is called validation. What do you think you're going to do? This empowers them. How can I best support you right now? This asks permission, and then you must be willing to accept their answer. If their answer is, I just need you to listen, your job is to listen, not to listen while secretly formulating a plan. Just listen. If their answer is, I don't know, your job is to say, I trust you'll figure it out. I'm here for you. If their answer is, nothing, I'm just venting, your job is to accept that. Healthy support is about empowering their agency, not about applying yours. Step 4. Set healthy boundaries. This is the most misunderstood part of the process. A boundary is not telling someone else what to do. You must stop drinking is not a boundary. That's a rule. You must get a new job is not a boundary. That's a command. A boundary is about what you will do. It is about your actions, not theirs. An unhealthy fixer statement is, you have to stop complaining about your job all the time. It's so negative. A healthy boundary statement is, I love you very much, but I am no longer willing to listen to complaints about your job if you aren't open to discussing solutions or making a change. I have the emotional energy to support you, but not to be a receptacle for complaints you don't intend to act on. Do you see the difference? One tries to control them. The other defines your participation. A boundary is you, lovingly, saying, my peace and my mental health matter. I will not set myself on fire to keep you warm. Step 5. Turn the fix inward. This is the final and most beautiful step. You have an incredible amount of high wattage energy. You have a gift for seeing potential, for organizing, for problem solving. The world has just tricked you into thinking you have to apply that gift to everyone else. The path to healing is to take all that amazing, powerful, transformative energy and become your own project. Use that energy to fix your career, to fix your health, to fix your relationship with yourself, to build your own hobbies, your own passions, your own beautiful, fulfilling life. A life that is so whole and so complete that you are no longer tempted to live someone else's for them. You will find that when you are busy building your own empire, you have far less interest in micromanaging someone else's. The fixer complex is a cage. It traps you, and it traps the people you claim to love. It is born from your pain, it is fueled by your anxiety, and it is a toxic substitute for genuine connection. Breaking free is a journey. It is the hardest and most important work you will ever do. It requires you to unlearn the core belief that your worth is tied to your usefulness. It requires you to learn to sit with the discomfort of not being in control. And it requires you to trust other people, to walk their own path, and to trust yourself, that you are worthy of being loved, not for what you can do for someone, but for who you are. True love is not a renovation project. It is not seeing a fixer-upper and thinking you can turn it into your dream home. True love, true, healthy, adult support, is the profound, radical act of acceptance. It's about seeing someone completely flaws, scars, chaos and all, and giving them the space and the respect to be who they are, while you stand beside them, whole and complete, doing the same for yourself. And now we want to hear from you. Which part of the fixer psychology resonated with you the most? Was it the childhood origins, the need for control, or the realization that it's a form of avoidance? Share your story in the comments below. Your journey matters, and your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to read today.